Alright guys, this last 2 weeks, especially in my class, we've been talking about poverty and we've been talking about the workforce around the world and kids around the world and the different choices we have to make. And today we're going to take you on an adventure. We're going to be doing what's called a poverty simulation. So we're going to essentially pretend that you have been dropped into a third world country and your goal is to survive 3 different sessions working and living as somebody who is in a third world country. The way it's going to work is you are going to basically essentially be divided in half. So one group will get game card 1, you can see it right here. You are the villagers, okay? And then the other half of you will randomly be getting game card 2, which is like those who live across the border. And these are like your passports or that you have to keep up with the whole entire time. If you lose yours, you could potentially go to jail and then or go to the cemetery and die. Okay, so you don't want to lose it. And I'm going to explain to you what is all on here in just a few minutes. But I wanted to kind of go over the rules with you guys so that you have a clear understanding that when you go out there, what it's going to look like and what you need to do in order to be successful in the game. So what's going to happen is we're going to be doing this out back behind the 7th grade hall where we have break out there. And there's going to be different stations and tents set up that you're going to be working around. And there's going to be signs that tell you what each station represents. Okay? So, like I said, there's going to be 3 sessions. And each session is going to be 20 minutes long. And there's a lot of things you have to get done within those 20 minutes, so you need to use your time wisely. At the end of each session, I'm going to have one of those bullhorns, and I'm going to let the siren go off. And when that happens, you need to freeze and listen to instructions. During each session, you will need to be earning money to work because we need money to provide for our families and for us. And you need that, so to do that, the employer is going to set a wage for you. Maybe it's 2 income stamps, maybe it's 1 income stamp, something like that. And I want to backtrack there for a second. You're going to have the opportunity to choose between 7 different employment tasks. Okay, and those 7 tasks include weaving, where you're going to create a pattern out of pegs and rubber bands. There is carrying a bucket of water. There is stringing beads. There is creating a house, constructing a house. There is, I'm trying to remember, guys. Cutting task cards and organizing beads. So you get to pick which task you want to participate in. And each session you have to complete 2 tasks. So really you're going to have to pick 2 that you want to complete each session. And you cannot get paid until you complete each task successfully. And it's very, very imperative that you go ahead and get to work and that you make sure that those things happen, especially in the first session, because when you work, that's going to give you money for food and for drink, and it's going to give you money to attend school if you want to, and it's going to give you money to be able to get immunizations if you want to. And because we're talking about school, I'll go ahead and tell you about that. If you choose to go to school, there's a chance you're going to get paid more for each task that you complete. At school, you have to spend at least 3 minutes there with your teacher, and your teacher's going to have a certain task for you to do. Miss Lucas and Miss Kirkpatrick will have school set up, and you can go attend school there, and they can charge you to attend school. So that's an option for you as well. You also have the chance to attend a clinic to get your immunizations. Once again, there, if you attend the clinic, you have to wait 3 minutes before you can move on to the next session. And it's important to get those immunizations to prevent any chance of some kind of outbreak happening. Because if an outbreak happens, you are now immune to it, and you don't have to worry about being penalized for that. And once you're immunized, whatever you want to say it, once you have that immunization, then you're good for the rest of the session. Same thing with school. As soon as you attend school and you graduate, then you are good and you don't have to go to school anymore for the rest of the 3 sessions. Another key factor is that every 10 minutes you have to eat or drink. So a whistle is going to go off halfway through each session, and if you have not eaten or drunk that period, then you have to visit what we call the cemetery, which is going to be off to the side, and there'll be 2 tents there, and you have to sit, and you are out for the rest of the game. Like, you don't get to come back in. There's no resurrection here. You are stuck in the cemetery. You dead. Okay? So you want to make sure you visit the market or the shop to eat or drink, and that's going to be between the lunchroom and the 7th grade hallway. There's going to be 2 tables set up, and there's going to be like a tiny little snack, and you're going to get a squirt of water, and when that happens, they're going to sign off on your card saying that you did that. Now, in order to receive food or drink, you're going to have to pay for it. So like I said, you can't visit that station until you have completed a task, an employment task, and then you can go visit the food and water station. But if you do not visit it in time, and the whistle blows, then you have to go to the cemetery. Alright, those of you who live across the border, before you can get through the border and have the opportunity to work, you have to have a work visa. And so to do that, you are going to be located in the baseball field. Okay? And so all game card 2 players are going to start inside the baseball field. And Coach Jones is going to be our border patrol officer or customs officer, along with Mr. Cole. If you are wanting to earn a visa stamp to get across the border, then you need to line up and see Mr. Cole. And Mr. Cole is going to quiz you, and if you have to answer the question correctly. If you answer the question correctly, he will sign off on your work visa. And you can go see Coach Jones, and he'll let you through the border so that you can go work quickly. If you get it wrong, you have to go to the end of the line and try again. Now, you do have the option to try and bribe Coach Jones across the border. He may ask you for an income stamp, but if you haven't worked yet, you don't have any of that. He may ask you for some of your personal belongings. You can barter with him, you can beg with him, you can try to sneak across. But I will warn you, if you sneak across, Officer Sapp may get you. Officer Sapp will be patrolling this whole simulation, and if he chooses to fine you, he can send you to jail. So I'd be very careful, and I'd be on my very best behavior to make sure that you don't visit the jailhouse. Now, if you do visit the jailhouse, you could be there for 1 session, you could be there for 3 minutes. Regardless, when you're there, you're there. You can try and bribe the jailer to let you out, but then that could also risk you being in there longer. The only way you can get food and water is if you go visit the station. So if you're in jail, you don't get food and water during that time, and so if that whistle blows before the food and water and you're in jail and you haven't had any, then you're going to have to go to the cemetery because you're done. Okay? I think that wraps it all up. The biggest thing is that you listen for instructions. So anytime you hear that siren or anytime you hear that whistle, you need to know that something important is happening and you need to freeze and listen to instructions. Okay? I want you to have fun. I want you to use your head, and I really want you to think about how this relates to what you've been seeing in the videos and activities that we've been doing these past 2 weeks. I think we'll have a great time. Please be on your very best behavior, and I'll see you out there.